Thank you, Speaker. I'm very pleased to second this motion. It's the right time to do the right thing. This is a nation-building activity. The parliament has had inquiries into this, and for many personal reasons to do with me being the federal member for Indi, I'm very happy to support this motion. Colleagues, in 50 years' time, we're going to look back upon this particular parliament and see so many lost opportunities. And many, many times I've stood in this parliament and said to my colleagues on the other side, and particularly to the National Party, where's your vision for this country? And today, with this motion, I'm calling on for my colleagues, particularly for the National Party, to show us your vision, to show us that you've got a plan, to show us you really get rural and regional Australia and where we want to be in 50 years' time. It's about population. It's about the drivers of economic growth. It's about being brave and letting rural and regional Australia take its place in this great nation. So this authority is just the beginning that actually the National Party in particular has a plan for the future of this country. That's the political reason, I suppose. But there's really good other reasons, is that the parliament itself this year, while I've been here, has had 2 inquiries which basically support what we're trying to do. And probably the most important one was from the ITC, the Infrastructure, Transport and Cities Standing Committee, and its report Harnessing Value, Delivering Infrastructure, a bipartisan support that says we've actually got to do something in a national way about what's happening in the cities and what's happening in the region. We've got to build infrastructure that connects. And there were some such creative ways about how we could fund that. So that report is before the parliament. And the second report I'd like to refer to is Regions at the Ready, which talks about a national approach to building infrastructure and developing the region so that they can take their rightful place in the country. Now, both reports have been presented to this parliament, and we're still waiting for the government to come back and tell us what it thinks about its recommendations, but they sit there. And if I could say for the third reason, which is probably the most important for me, is when I got elected as a member for Indi, my commitment was to put my electorate first. So I'm standing here backing a motion from the Labor Party, because I look to the government and I say, well, if not you, who is going to build us this high-speed rail? Who is going to preserve the corridor? And if you're not going to do it now, government, after 5 years, when are you going to do it? So if not you, who? And I say to the people in my electorate, who else is standing up for you for infrastructure that's actually going to make a difference to our community? Who are the visionary people in North East Victoria that come to this parliament and say, I get the future and I will stand up and I will put Indi first? But related to putting Indi first to get us the infrastructure we need, I also would like to acknowledge the work of one of my constituents, Tim Fischer. And last time I spoke to Tim Fischer, we were launching his book about steam engines, and I made a speech about the importance of high-speed rail and the opportunity that steam gave to us in the regions. I'm saying high-speed rail will give us the same impetus that steam gave a couple of centuries ago. And Tim was there, and I think I saw him sadly shake his head. He's almost given up on it, because the National Party, the government, the coalition were his party. And for 5 years they haven't been able to do it. So I say, government, if not you, who will speak up for the regions? Who and when will we put infrastructure that delivers long-term benefits at the centre of what we need to do? So I say to the government, now is the right time. We're going to have the MyEFO report, and according to the member for Grayndler, there's some money there that we might be able to do something with. And we're bringing the budget forward to April. Well, please, can I say, come out with a strategy for regional Australia. Show us how for North East Victoria, for southern New South Wales, for Geelong, for Newcastle, you're actually understanding what the regions are needing and you're putting us front and centre, because clearly the government hasn't got it. They haven't done it, and I don't think they're going to do it. So I say to my community, look to the crossbench and look to those of us who stand here today and say, high-speed rail, it's the future for the regions, we need to invest in the corridor. But do you know, Mr Speaker, what we really need to do? What the government really needs to do is say to regional Australia, we understand. We understand what you need, and for the next 100 years we're going to build the infrastructure that's going to put you at the centre of Australia's future.